Hello. When you hop on, say hi. Hi, Sue. Welcome. You give it another minute or so, and then we're going to get started. Hi, Deb. Welcome. Hi, it's 8 o'clock. We're going to get started. Hi, Denise. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera down, and we're going to get started. I just wanted to show you that the mini catalog for us demonstrators is online, and I didn't get mine yet. It's coming, I think, Monday. So if you're not working with the current demonstrator, let me know. I will send one to you. I printed mine out till I got mine, okay? And it's so much thicker doing it that way than a regular mini catalog, okay? I can't show you what's inside, so it starts September 5th, okay? And the annual catalog. So if you're not working with a current demonstrator and like to have a copy, just let me know, okay? This is the box I showed you a while ago. And you see how it buckles right there? Well, I adjusted it, and I'm going to give you the measurements, what I came up with, um, so that it didn't buckle for you. Okay? I am using tonight the Impressions Abloom. I'm using the Thanks. That's the only stamp I'm using out of the stamp set. But I'm using the dies. Everything on my cards are dies, except for the verbiage. And I use thanks on all my cards. Okay. I'm also using the coordinated 3D embossing folder. Um, I'm also using, with you in mind, just the thank you stamp. I'm using the nested essentials. I'm using from the center number 1 and number 2. From the outside, it would be 3 and 4. And I'm also using. Did I use this one? Yes, I'm using Everyday Arches. I am using the third from the end here. Okay, from the outside, the third one. And the very middle one on my card. Okay, think I got it all. Mini glue dots, dimensionals. This is my box I did to show you that it does not buckle and it goes on a lot easier. Okay, but I'm going to show you how to make it and everything. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. Um, Again, I'm going to show you how to make it with the measurements and everything. The first card, very simple. is this one here. Okay. Basic white, 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4.25. This piece that I already ran through the coordinating. Hi, Leanne, welcome. Coordinating the corrugated 3D embossing folder. That's 5.25 by 4. That'll get laid here, but we're gonna put the flowers in that on first. Piece of twine, I doubled it, made a bow. This piece is for my thanks, and this is crushed curry and old olive. On this one, it's crushed curry and garden green. Okay. So what we're going to do first is lay these down, and if I would have thought of it before I ran it through, I would have ran it with adhesive sheets and thought of it afterwards. Okay, so we're going to put that right about there, about in the middle. The flowers get dimensionals. Oh, let me get the mini. It's going to go there. And one's going to go there. Okay. The leaves, it's going to go right on the side. And I'm not putting much on because these leaves are cut the whole way through, and I don't want too much of the glue coming through. And that's going to get laid like that. I'm going to stamp thanks in Memento Black. Oh, I didn't want to put that close to the edge there. So let me get my snips here. I'll use that for another card. I'm just making my flags on the end. Let me close this up before I get my fingers in it. This is going to go on with dimensionals. I'm going to go about up there. Okay. My bow's going to go down here with a blue dot. And I just roll it in a little ball. And I laid it there, and then I put my bow down. Like so. And then I'm going to glue it on the front of the card to make sure I got it right. Now let me get some bling here. Embellishments. I didn't put any on the card. That could have been down a little bit further too. let's see. This is the old in color. The in colors. This is peach pie, and that's the one I'm going to use to put on here. Well, that ain't working. Let's do it this way. And one more. Okay, there's card number 1. Okay, card number 2 is this one here. Okay, 8.5 by 11. Sorry, 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4.25. And this is the paper. I'm going to use the back side of that one. And this one is 4 by 2.5. I need to trim this one down. Yeah, I need to trim that at 4. That will get laid here. And then this one will get laid down here, right up against each other. Okay? So this would be 4 by 2.5. And then this one. And this is actually petunia pop. Okay. I did white. This is lemon lime twist. And it's 1/4 by 4. I'm going to lay that right on top there. You could use ribbon to put on there. But I had this piece of lemon lime twist in my scraps. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to use that. That's for my thanks. And then I went ahead and I cut these flowers out of the dies. And the center for this one. And then on my little stems. And like I said, I should have put it on adhesive strips. I'm gonna bring this piece in. This is the Everyday Arches. We're gonna put this one down first. The one that has the 2. Very little. And I'm only putting it on the roundness up there. And it's gonna go on the angle like so. Okay. And then this one is going to go down on the other side. And it's going to go, I'm going to bring it down right about there. Whoops. Because this will cover that, so you won't see that extended over like that. Okay? The leaves, I'm going to put the flowers on first. They get popped up with a dimensional. So I need 2 little ones. Oh my goodness, can't get it off. Only on a live. I did not have any problems today. I am going to put the little one over here. And then the other little one over there. Change it up a little. Because actually I have this one on that side. It should have been on the other side. But that's all right. And then we need a one for this one. And that's going to go up here. Okay. Then I have the center that is with the die. And I'm going to put that there. Okay. And then the next are the leaves. I'll put one here. And one over here. Okay. This is going to get right on the center of the card. Like so. And then I'm going to bring in my thanks and memento black. And we're going to stamp that in the middle. That's going to get popped up. And that's going to go down here. Like so. Okay. So now I'm going to bring in that bling again. And I am going to use the petunia pop. I got ink there. Might as well put dots down there. And one more up here. I don't like them down there. I would have put them up a little further, but I had a black ink. Hi, Renee. Welcome. Okay, that's card number 2. Renee, I don't know if you saw my last live. I pulled names and you were one of the winners. I have not got all my prizes together yet. It's all my retired stuff. But I picked 12 names and your name came up. Okay, so did yours, Denise, if you didn't hear me. If you didn't see that. Okay, card number 3 is this one here. It's using strawberry slush, and I didn't score that, so it's 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score that at 4.25. I cut a 3 3/4. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, 3 3/4 by 5.25. Okay. I will get with you for the address and everything when as soon as I get all my prizes and everything. Okay. So what I'm going to do is turn these three over like so. They're going to go over here. This one's going to go over here. This is where those nested dies, essential dies. I used the number 3 and number 4 from the outside. Okay, that will go there, and then I just cut 3 little flowers out of the dies, and that is in fresh freesia. Okay, like I said, I will get with you. Thanks, Gloria. Welcome. Um, I will get with you for your address and everything then. When I'm ready to, I will have a live, and I'm going to go down my list. And um, when I do your name, then I'll have everything that I'm going to give away up here, so you can see what you know what you got. I'm just putting these down with a little bit of room between each one. You don't want a whole lot of space because you want to be able to put this on that you still have room to put space between it. And I have them a little bit too far away, but that's okay. And then we're going to lay this down. And if your flowers are going in one way, if you use flowers any directional, you want to make sure you cut it the right way so they're up the right way. Okay. Bring this in. And again, thanks. And I'm going to stamp that in the middle. I'm going to glue that on here. Okay. That's going to have dimensionals. Now I'm going to show you, I give you the measurements and everything as I go with the box. So if you want to write it down, if you didn't already the last time I did them, um, uh, grab your pencil and paper and be ready because I have one more card to show you, one more card to show you, and then I'm going to make the box. I'll put that there. And then these just get glued on. And then the last one will have a dimensional. This one gets a dimensional. And that's going to go there. Okay? So now I'm going to bring in let me get strawberry slush. And we're going to put them on the flowers here. I didn't do that to that one yet, but I will. Okay. And then the inside, you will have a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. 5 1/4. I forgot to cut this since it was a darker cardstock and not white. You could still stamp on the strawberry slush and you would still be able to read it. As long as you do it in black, it'll show up better than anything, you know. It would even show up if you used strawberry slush. All right, that is card number 3. Card number 4 is this one here. And I just put a strip on the inside. But that is card number 4. 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4. I took a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of DSP, and I was going to do something different, and then I thought, well, no, I'm going to lay that there. This is going to go here, okay? And then I took a piece of crushed curry. That is going to slide underneath my oval here and up to the top, okay? So what I did was I put some glue on here. Laid it so that I had a little bit of space on the side there, and it would look like that. But it's under this part here, okay? Then I put it down and I slid this under. You don't see much of the green here. If you don't like the white around it, when you cut that out, you get this rim here. You could always lay this on here like so. It would cover that white space up, okay? But I don't care if I had white. It gives it more character. So I'm going to lay this down first. Like so. Okay. Then I'm going to lay this on. Just slide it under that yellow spot. And I did the coordinating 3D embossing folder on that yellow strip there. Okay, so then you have that part done. Then we're going to do the leaves first. So I'm just going to put just a dab here and there. And one is going to slide under here, and I shouldn't have put glue there yet. And then the other one's going to go on the other side. Like so. Okay? Flowers. What I did was I took my dauber, probably still have enough on there, and I just did the center. And they get popped up with a dimensional. One is going to go here. One is going to go up here. Let me bring that one down a little. Yeah, like that. And then this one goes up here. Okay. Thanks is just going to go right down here on 2 dimensionals. Hi, Shirley. Welcome. You're at a vet hospital. Hope everything's okay. And it's just going to go right there. Got to take the backing off, Deb. There we go. And then this goes on the inside at the bottom. So let's open that, and then we'll bring in some gems. Like so. And then for those, I'm going to bring in Darling Duckling. And I'm going to just put a few on. I'll put one here at Thanks. And then I think I'm going to put one right in the center of the flowers there. Like so. All right, that is card number 4. Now we're going to make the box. And then I'll bring them in for you again so you can see them. Okay. Let me bring in my scoreboard. For the bottom, it is 9 3/4 by 8 1/2. Let me just get my measurements here just to make sure. Yeah, 8 1/2 by 9 3/4 is the bottom. Okay, and you're going to score it at 1, 2 on all 4 sides. 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Okay. Then for the top, this is where I fixed it. The top is, no, I'm sorry, I fixed the bottom. It was something 8, 7/8 or something like that, and it made it buckle. 7 1/16 by 8 7/16. I'm sorry for the odd numbers. I like where you can get the half, the quarter, 3/4, and that. But anyway, you're going to score that at 5/8, 1 1/4 at all 4 sides. 5/8, 1 1/4. Same, 5/8, 1 1/4. 5/8, 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Now we're going to do some cutting. I'm going to fold first. It's easy. I usually cut before I fold, but I'll fold. It's easier to see the where you're going to cut. So you're going to score at all 4 sides on all the score lines. And I'm going to do the lid while I'm doing it now, so then all I got to do is just show you how to cut it. I got this pattern from Paper Pixie, I think. I think that's who it was. I saw it on Pinterest, and it took me, I think, to her video. Okay. So for the bottom, you want the long side. Okay, so yes. Well, I went 1/16 smaller on the bottom. On the 8.5 inch side is where I'm cutting my tabs. You're going to cut up to the second score line. Over here, you're going to cut up to the first score line. And this one is up to the second. You're going to cut that part off. And then you're going to cut that part off so it looks like that. And then you're going to miter your ends. Like so. And you're going to do that on 4 sides. And then the other side. And you're going to cut this the same way for the lid too. So it should look like that when you have all your corners cut. Okay. So let me cut the top quick and then we'll put it together. I'm sorry, I stopped talking. I'm concentrating so I don't cut the wrong tabs. I've done that so many times. And then one more side here. last one. Okay, slide that over to the pile. Okay, I'm going to put the bottom together first. You're going to put glue on the tabs, and that would be the ones on the outside. Okay, then you're just going to bring up your ends and make it even to the sides. If you're using liquid glue, you want to hold it for a little bit so it catches. You could use your Snail Plus, or yeah. Liquid glue, tear and tape. Okay, then I'm gonna just bring these out a little bit because I'm gonna put glue on the outer part here. Okay, there's two, like where you scored, you're gonna put it on the outer part. And that's just gonna get folded in. I'm just folding it in. And once I get them all in, I take my fingers and I go around, okay? Then I take my bone folder and I go over each side to make sure that glue is down. Now I'm just using regular basic white. If you want a more sturdier box, you might want to use the thick. And there you have the bottom. And you're going to do the exact same thing to the top. Glue on the tabs. And you bring the sides up. And then you're going to bring back the sides so you can put glue on it more easily. Just make sure your tabs are, I must have glue on my finger there. Okay, and then we're going to put glue on the outer ledge. Okay, then they get folded in. I don't worry about if they don't stick right away because, like I said, I run my fingers over them and then take my bone folder over them. And I use the pointed end because you can get in the corners and up to the very edge of the tabs there. And there's your lid, and it goes right on without buckling your bottom. Yeah, you could, Sherry. You could decorate the top before we put it together. So the top, I chose this, and since I did all thank you cards, I made a thing for thank you, a tab. The sizes for this one is petal pink, pretty in pink. It's 4 1/4 by 5 5/8. Strawberry slush is 4 1/8 by 5 1/2. And then your DSP is 4 by 5 3/8. Okay, so you're gonna uh, put these together. Thanks, Sherry. So you're just gonna line this up. But yeah, you could definitely put the the decorations on top before you put it together. I'm just trying. It's a very little. Uh, it's like a 1/16 outer. Uh, yeah, I think matte. It doesn't show much of the cardstock, but you can see it when you put it together. That's going to go right on the front here. If you want to do the sides, you can. I just leave mine white or whatever color I use. I don't decorate the sides. Then we're going to, this is 2 1/2 by 2. This is 2 1/4 by 1 3/4. And that's just going to get glued on there. And this is petal pink, or pretty in pink. And it's going to get dimensionals on the front. So it's going to go right there. And then bring the cards in so you can see what's going to go in the box. And those 4 right there. Oh, that's a good idea, Renee. Okay. So if you open this up. Now, I don't have the envelopes with me right now, but these 8 cards will fit in here. And you will still have room for your envelopes, you know. And then you put the lid on, and you have yourself a nice gift. Bring in my other ones. This is using the same DSP here, and this is using the other flowered one. I don't know what it's called, Floral Impressions or something. Thanks, Sherry. So this is the cards I made using this set when I demonstrated the box, using that same paper, okay? And then the lid is the same as this one here. So I hope you enjoyed tonight and everything. Sorry I couldn't make it last night. But I will be back on Monday. Hopefully my product will be here on Monday. It says it will be. And maybe I'll have some new stuff to show you. Thanks, Renee. So, what these maybe these sets will be some of the gifts I'm giving away. I don't know yet. It's like I said, I have so much stuff I need to get rid of. Yeah, see, this one buckled a little bit too. It's before I changed the but I'll bring out tonight's card so you can see. I'll just bring out the one I put bling on. There you go. But this would be a nice set to give somebody. You could do the three different greetings, and give the three, just pile them up, put ribbon on them, put them in a bag, and they'll have something they can keep them in, and if they need them they can just go get them. All right, I will see you back here on Monday. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. I appreciate every one of you. And 8 o'clock on Monday. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Night, everybody.